Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Praetor Magic channel, and welcome to episode 3 of Deck Tech Tuesday. I'm your host, DM Cross, and today I'm bringing you a brew that I am very excited about because it is kind of unique. It's not something you're going to find on EDH Rec or a lot on Tapped Out, or who knows, maybe even Googling. If you were to Google Oloro Ageless Ascetic Zombies, I don't know if you'd get a lot of hits. So hopefully this is something new and unique, something that you guys can look into and maybe have a lot of fun playing. However, before we get into the deck tech, I do want to take a minute to stop and say thank you for all the comments on the Alicia Who Smiles at Death video, because you guys did make a good point of letting us know that the audio quality was not good. We are going to be working toward better quality in the audio, whether it's equipment or editing. Hopefully in the meantime you guys can bear with us. It should be a little bit different in this episode. I do have somewhat new equipment, but not super. As you can see, I'm still wearing my same headset. Again though, thank you very much, and if you guys continue to stay with us, you have our appreciation and our admiration. However, let's start talking about the deck tech. So Oloro Ageless Ascetic, the commander. Let's talk about him first. Why did we pick Oloro? Well, for one, he provides the colors, as you could see, white, blue, black. But his bottom ability is super good because I can leave him in the command zone, never cast him the entire game, and still get a lot of value off every time my upkeep triggers. I get 2 life. That alone is a fantastic reason to play Laurel, and that's why a lot of people do play Laurel, because even though he's, you know, a 6 mana 4/5 without anything else except some draw power if you want to pay into it, he still gives you value just sitting there from turn 1. The first turn, 2 life, you start with 42. It's very hard to beat that with any commander. However, guys, I don't want to talk too much about Oloro because, again, he's going to sit in the command zone. I never want to cast him. He's not a zombie. He's the right colors, but he's not the right type. So what I do want to talk about is how to get the deck going. And of course, we know we have to get the deck going with 2 things. And the first thing is ramp. So how do we ramp up? Well, one, we go and get Expedition Map, which allows us to go and get any land. Not a basic land, any land. My first pick is usually going to be Tome of Yawgmoth, because that turns all your lands into swamps, which is going to work really well with our second card, Crypt Gas, where all your swamps, in addition to what they're already tapping for, will give you an additional black mana. So now you can have your plains, which is also a swamp because of Tome, or Urborg Tome of Yawgmoth, tap for white, and you get a black. Fantastic. So it's almost like a mana doubler in those 2 cards alone. The third card that I want to talk about is land tax. This is one of the things that white helps out with zombies, is that you can go and sit in your deck, you can go and fetch lands. It does kind of help accelerate, you know, how you're going about playing your game. The fourth card that I want to talk about is Black Market. You're gonna see throughout the video that there's gonna be a theme of zombies coming and going, specifically tokens. So now whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on Black Market, and then at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you get that much black mana, however many charge counters. This can start adding up really fast and give you a big boost in your main phase, to where all your lands can even stay on tap for the next person's turn, depending on, you know, of course, what you're playing. So I said ramp was the first thing that we need to play the game. The second thing we need is to keep our hand full so that we always have answers, and so that we're always being able to play more things. So how do you do that? You draw them. And the first card I want to talk about with drawing is Phyrexian Arena. I think I talked about this one in the Alicia Who Smiles at Death video. Phyrexian Arena is good, costs you 1 life, but you're already gaining 2 per turn, so you're really only gaining 1 now. Oh darn, your commander's value is now only 1 life per turn instead of 2, and you get a card out of it. Not bad. Second card is Ristic Study. This is an amazing card from blue. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you can draw a card unless they play 1. So either you're going to slow them down because they're going to try to prevent you from having card advantage, or you're just going to have card advantage. And it's enchantment, so you don't have to worry about people killing a creature. Third card is Windfall. There is slightly a recursion theme to the deck, where you do tend to get stuff out of your graveyard very often. Windfall, hey, maybe I have all these things and I want to put them in the graveyard. Discard, draw new cards. The last card that I want to talk about for this is Greed. Again, you're getting 2 life a turn, so now you essentially have to pay 1 black, which you might get extra because of the Urborg Crypt Gas combo, and boom, you can get an extra card, and then you can continue to play life. And it can just keep going on and on and on. The next category that I want to talk about is Lords. Zombies have a lot of Lords in them. Lords are basically creatures that offer bonuses to creatures that share the same type, in this case, zombies. The first one I want to talk about is Plague Belcher, a new card from a Monk kit. It gives It's not really a lord in the sense of like gives everybody a bonus, but whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses life. Again, I talked about before, you're going to see zombie tokens coming and going. Now when they go, everybody gets hurt. Seems like a good idea. And it also prevents against board wipes. The second card that we're going to talk about, Dire Golf Captain. This one actually does give other zombies +1/+1, but it also says that whenever a zombie you control dies, target opponent loses life. You have these both out, you sack a zombie to anything, everybody loses 2. If you're playing in a 4-person pod, that's 8 damage you've dealt just by losing a creature and having these 2 out. It's pretty good. Third card is Wayward Servant. Again, another new card from a monk kit. Whenever another zombie enters a battlefield under your control, each opponent loses life and you gain a life. So now we have gaining a life and losing a life, and it's for making zombies. Obviously, in order to lose a lot of zombie tokens, you gotta make a lot of zombie tokens, and we're gonna talk about token makers later. So, as you can see, the theme is pretty much set in stone now. And of course, my personal favorite card for Lords, this isn't really a Lord in the sense of giving buffs, but it makes zombies, but it also gives all your zombies lifelink, which means all the tokens that you're gonna make, lifelink. All the zombie creatures that you're going to play, lifelink. And again, it's helping you make zombies. It's 6 mana for this enchantment, but I honestly think it's worth it, especially if you cast it later on in the game. So the fourth category that I want to talk about is how to make those tokens. Obviously, we need to be able to make the tokens in order to get started. First card, Grave Titan. Every mono black zombie deck has Grave Titan. Enters the battlefield, makes 2 zombies. Attacks, makes 2 zombies. If you find a way to bounce stuff, makes 2 zombies. It's just crazy, it's out of control, it's value, incarnate. You want Grave Titan in this deck. Second card is Stitcher Giraffe. Stitcher Giraffe is kind of a weird one in here, because one, it can help you put stuff in your graveyard to recur later, but it can also make you one big zombie, especially if you're playing against a bunch of people who like to have big creatures in their deck. This could help make a really big zombie. So that big zombie can either hit very hard, or it can become a bunch of little zombies with Ghoul-Caller Gissa. Because she's going to take a creature, sacrifice it, and then make whatever its power, make that many 2/2 zombies. The last card I want to talk about for zombie makers is another new card. It's Anointed Procession. This is basically a mono white version of Parallel Lives. Whenever an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens. So Grave Titan pops out 4 tokens every time he enters the battlefield or attacks. That's hilarious, and probably very easy to get out of control very quickly. So now that we've made the tokens, we want to be able to utilize them. So I call this category token interaction. There's only 3 cards for this because some of the token interaction cards are also token makers, as you'll see in the list. But the 3 cards I do want to talk about start with Anointed Priest. Whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. And it has Embalm. So if you kill it once, it can come back as a token. To me, that's hilarious. The second card I want to talk to you about is Aven Wind Guide. Now, creature tokens you have are control have Flying and Vigilance. So let's say you have Grave Titan with Anointed Processions out. Grave Titan hits the battlefield, creates 4. This makes those 4 2/2s Flying Vigilant zombies. That's going to get insane very quickly. This last card is going to... It could work with almost anything, but I feel like it almost works best when you get a really good Stitcher Giraffe. Temet, Vizier of Noctimoon. Again, another a monk deck card, which was kind of the inspiration for the Esper Zombie theme in general. He basically takes a token, gives it +1/+1, and makes it unblockable for the turn. Not only does he have Embalm himself, but again, he combos really well with Stitcher Giraffe. If Stitcher can make like a 6/6 or something, Temet turns it into a 7/7, says, you're not going to block me, boom, hits you straight through. The next category that I want to talk to you about is Recursion, bringing things back from the dead. Like I said before, there's a slight Recursion theme so that you can have your zombies go in and out of the graveyard a lot to trigger like Dire Golf Captain and Plague Belcher and etc, etc. And I want to start this category off with Geese and Giraffe. So not only do we have the single versions of Geese and Giraffe, but we have the sibling combo of them, which basically says that when it enters the battlefield, you can put the top, or I'm sorry, not you can, but you will put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. That sounds bad, but it's not, because if you hit 4 zombies, now you can cast a zombie from your graveyard once per turn. Obviously, pretty good combo. Machias the Unhallowed gives all your non-human creatures Undying. So now, if somebody board wipes, all your stuff's gonna come back. If And it's also a lord, actually, because all non-human creatures you control get +1/+1. So this is great if you board wipe. There's a decent amount of board wipes, as you'll see from the list in the deck, so you can wipe, get most of your stuff back, because again, you do have a couple of non-zombies, Crypt Gas, Gisa, and then Duralf. Grave Titan is unfortunately not a zombie. I don't know how that worked, but whatever. Third card, Rise of the Dark Realms. This is typically the game ender. Typically, if you play Rise of the Dark Realms, unless somebody can stop it, counter it, wipe the board, etc., etc., typically the game's over after this. I don't think I need to explain how. You've got a bunch of creatures on your field now. If one of your opponents is playing a hasty aggro deck, maybe now your stuff has haste. Who knows? And the last card I want to talk about is Liliana Heretical Hero / Liliana Defiant Necromancer. Her ult is basically like a 1-for-1 version of Rise of the Dark Realms. Everything something dies, you just bring it back. And also her minus can bring stuff back from the dead. So she's a great recursion she's not a recursion commander, a recursion card herself. And I think she could do very well. And then also you have her +2, where you can make people discard cards. Again, since it's each player, you have zombies in your hand, but you could play them from your graveyard, make everybody discard. Now they're in the graveyard. Now they work. Guys, that is it for the detailed, or the card by card version. So let's talk about how the deck wins. Like I just said, Rise of the Dark Realms is probably a big one. You could swarm people with zombies. You have, I think, 2 ways to give your zombies all menace to make them harder to block. So the more zombies you have, and the harder they are to block, the more damage gets through. And then Necromancer's Covenant can be giving you lifelink, so keep you sustained for the long game. You do board wipes with, again, Diregrolf, Captain, and Machias out, and Plague Belcher, just to make everybody lose a bunch of life all at once, etc., etc. If you guys want to see the whole deck list, it is right here. I will also put a link to this tapped out so that you can look at this yourself in case it's hard to read. Somebody did mention that it was a little bit hard to read in the first edit of the video. John, the video editor, mentioned that it was a little hard to read, so that's why he did the panning on the last one. He'll maybe do that this time if it's hard to read again. Hopefully it's not. This deck was actually even more costly than the Alicia Who Smiles at Death video that I did. As you can see, it maxes out at 440 from TCG Player. Super expensive. However, there are a lot of high value cards in this. Machias himself is pretty high value. A lot of the lands here are pretty high value. Token Maker is one that I didn't talk about. As you can see, is Callistus. Callistus. Am I playing League of Legends right now? Kalitas, the Trader of Get, which will actually stop graveyard shenanigans for everybody else, which is kind of a nombo with Rise of the Dark Realms, but again, Rise of the Dark Realms is a possible win con. Plus, if you play Kalitas, people probably aren't going to want it to stick around. Again, guys, I just want to say thank you very much for all the support you guys show us all the time. You guys watch these videos, when you guys give us links, when you guys shout us out on Twitter, when you guys comment on Reddit, when you comment on the video, whatever it is. When you guys subscribe, which hopefully you're going to do after this video. I want to say that I really appreciate all the love and support. Again, guys, if you like this video, please leave a like. If you have comments for the deck, comments on the video, comments on the channel, leave us a comment. And if you like what you saw, please subscribe for more. That's all I got for today, guys. You can follow me on Twitter at DM_cross. You can follow Praetor Magic either at Praetor Magic or on Facebook at facebook.com/Praetor Magic. Either way, guys, hope to see you again next time. Peace.